Hello, this is the 5th video on Blender tutorials, and we're going to be having a look at the Mirror Modifier. What the Mirror Modifier does is basically allow you to edit something on one side and basically have it auto-generate the other side. So if we were to create something like a butterfly, you'd only have to do one side, or if you were doing a belt, you could only do one side of the belt and it would do the other side for you automatically. It's really good for things like shields and stuff like that. So let's have a look at creating a shield with this video. First thing we're going to want to do is set up the mirror modifier, and we do this by setting up the origin point. Now, earlier I told you about this little 3D cursor icon here. You can actually move that by selecting here where it says cursor, just here on the left, and then you can click where you want that to be. So we're going to pick somewhere in the middle over here on this side. Now, what we need to do is move this origin point here to there. And how we do that is by going to Object, Set Origin, and we want to move it to the 3D cursor. So that's the third one down. Object, Set Origin, Origin to 3D cursor. And that moves the little dot from there to there. That means we're ready to go, because we've got it on that edge, and what we want to mirror is going to be here on this side. I'm just going to move it across by pressing the G button for grab and then Y, just so it's on that red line. It doesn't matter if you do that, it makes no difference whatsoever, but I just OCD, so I'm moving it. So let's add the modifier. We go down to the spanner tool here on the right, we go to add modifier, generate, and we're looking for mirror. So that's add modifier, generate, mirror. When we click this, it will do nothing. You might have seen it just shift a little bit. It's actually created another version of the box that we're working on, but it's on the wrong axis. It's on the X axis. You can see it here, X, and you can see it highlighted there as X. We want it to be on the Y axis. So what we do is we deselect the X and we select the Y. Now that's made a duplicate on the Y axis. That's this one here. This here is now a copy of this object on this side. It isn't one object, it's a duplicate, meaning that you can't edit this one without editing this one. So let's have a look at how that works. We're not going to press the apply button, and the reason we're not is because we only want to apply this when we're happy with how the other side looks, because at the moment we want this modifier to copy what's here on the left. So let's go into edit mode. We can do that by clicking Object, Edit Mode, or hitting the Tab key, remember, next to Q. And you'll see that it only selects one of the boxes, which is this one on this side. And we can't select this other one. It doesn't matter if we click to edges, we can't select this box at all. And it's because at the moment, this box doesn't exist. It's just a duplicate of this first box. So let's start working on this first box and see what happens. So I'm going to click the front, I'm going to press G, and I'm going to constrain it to the X axis by pressing G and X, and then pull it back. And you'll notice that automatically the other one changes with it. So let's try and work with that. Let's try and extrude the top. So we press E for extrude, and then we press Z to make sure this blue line is up, and we stretch it up, and you'll see once again it's created the other side. Let's go to the bottom, select here, we're going to press E for extrude, and we're going to make sure that the blue line's there by pressing Z, and we're going to drag it down. Now we have 3 panels. Let's make it more of a shield shape. We're going to do that by first selecting this middle panel and this top panel, holding Shift and selecting the 2 points, and then I'm going to press G for grab, and I'm going to constrain it on the Y axis, I'm going to pull it out to make it more of a shield shape. Now it looks more like a shield. Right, what do we do next? Well, we want to make a curve in this object, but there's a special way to do that, and I'm going to do that in a different video. So right now, don't worry about curves. What we need is we want to make it so there's a nice inlay in here. So I don't like the way this shield looks. I want it to have like a little inlay that sits around here, like a little wooden inlay. How do we do that? Well, there's something called a ring select or a ring maker. And how we do that is we switch over to edge mode, which is up here, and we select one of the edges that we want to make a ring down. In this case, it's going to be here. We press Control plus R. And what will happen, that's plus R for ring, R for ring. Control plus ring, R. Is it creates a line that you can see. If you can't see it, make sure you hover over the area. You'll see briefly there that I also had another option, which is a cross, or up and down. Now I want more than one ring. I could make more than one ring by scrolling the mouse wheel up. It makes more rings. Or down to make less. So let's just have one for now. I'm going to left click, and then I'm given the option to move the ring. I want to move it here to the edge. I'm happy with that. Now I would like another ring. So what I do is I click here on the edge. I press Control plus R to make the ring. And remember, if it's still doing this, you need to come down to this corner. And I'm then left clicking and dragging up to make another piece. I'm then going to do the same down the bottom. I've just selected that edge there. Control plus R. And I'm going to select down here. Now you saw that if I select there I get one, and I'm sure if I select there I get one, and I get one there too. But I want it here. So I select, come down here, so the yellow thing appears right there. I then left click to confirm, and I'm moving it down until I'm happy with where I want it. Great. Now I'm able to go into face select, and I can select those areas that I've just created. And what I would like to do is I'd like to extrude by pressing E for extrude, and then making sure that it's extruding on the axis I need it to, which in this case is the blue one. And I'm pulling it out just a little bit. Now you'll see I have a nice inlay on my shield. Like that. Let's make a handle for the shield on the back. How we do that is we use the same technique. We're going to make a ring. So we click on the edge and we go Control plus R, and we make sure it's down like that, and we select there. And I'm just moving it ever so slightly to the right and then clicking that. Let's do it again here. Control plus R, and let's scroll the mouse wheel up. So now we get 2. Now if I want these two to be closer together, I can do that by using the scale tool. So I'm going to press S for scale, and I'm going to constrain that scale to the Z axis, up and down. Now if I push the thing closer in, you'll see it gets thinner. Like that. Now we're going to need to make a handle that sits here. There's a few ways of doing that. We can have a look at booleans and things like that, but we're going to do it the simple way. So let's make another ring that goes between here. So Control plus R, make sure it's going down yellow, left click, drag it across so it's close, and then press that button. We're then going to select this part right there. We're going to extrude that part by pressing E and pulling it out. We're then going to press E again and pull it out just a little bit more. We're then going to select this bit on the inside and we're going to press E for extrude, and we're going to extrude it this way. You'll see that when you push it across, it will merge to the other one. So you just find where it joins and then press the button. We now have a handle for our shield. If we want to be fancy, we can, of course, put a nice effect on the back as well by selecting this edge. All the way around. I'm just holding the shift button and selecting, and press E for extrude and just pull it out a little bit. Now we have a nice indent on the back. Let's make it so it's a bit more pointed at the bottom, a bit more like a shield and less like a square. That's easy enough to do. We're going to have to select a few different verts though. Now the problem is, I could go here into the dot bit and select all of these like this. But that takes quite a while for me to do that. There is a quicker way. I'm going to show you how. What you do is we select this box up here. This allows you to toggle the X-ray, allowing you to click objects and highlight objects that are invisible or behind another object. So you'll see now it's gone transparent. Using the button B for boundary box, that's B on the keyboard for boundary box, we can then highlight and select by clicking, dragging a box like you would in any other program and letting go. And as long as I'm here at the top on the vert selection and not on the edge or the face, it'll select all of them for me. I can do that anywhere, so I could select all of these very easily. And that way, it's a way of grabbing them all very quickly and very easily. We're then going to press G for grab, and we're going to pull that down to create a point like this. Now, you might want to do the same here with this point. We can do that, so let's do it again. B for boundary box, select all of them, G for grab, and just pull it down. And we've got that nice kind of like sharp edge there, which I think is quite cool. In fact, I think it's so cool, I think we should add it to the top. So let's do the same. Let's go up to the top. We're going to use the boundary box B to select all of this corner, and we're just going to drag by pressing G, constrain it to the Z axis, and we're just going to pull it up. And let's do the same again. B, select all of these, G for grab, and just take it up just a little bit. And now we've got more of a shield shape. Let's turn this X-ray mode off so we can see the object better and stick it into object mode. Now, we only did one side of this shield, just the one, but it's done all the work for us. It's created the other side of this shield for free. And that's what the mirror tool does. It allows us to create just one side of an object, and it creates the other side for us. When we're happy and we say, right, that's exactly how I want it to look, we go into object mode, we then go to where the mirror modifier is in the screwdriver or the spanner, and we accept it. Now that object there is one object. So if we go into edit mode, you'll see it's now one object. It's created all of it for you. Now, if I was to bring this into SL or into a virtual world, it would be poor. The reason is because the topology on it is poor, meaning there's lots of unneeded verts or lots of unneeded dots. But we needed them at the time to create this handle. But now we don't need them. So how do we get rid of them? I'm going to show you. So the first thing we do is we select everything by pressing A for all. We then go to mesh at the top and we go to cleanup, and the button we're looking for in cleanup is limited dissolve, which is this button. When we press this, it reduces all of the points down to its least amount of points. This is great. This allows us to upload things and won't cost us a fortune, and it won't be a million prims. It's taking it right back to the beginning, to its least amount of poly. Don't do this until the very, very end of your project. If you do this before the very end of your project, you're going to have problems, because it's very hard now to edit this because of the way that the verts have been generated. Only do this just before you're going to upload the object. I'm now going to make it so that the inside and the outside have a different color. So let's do that now. I've selected everything. I'm going to go down here to materials. I'm going to go and create a new material, press new, and I'm going to assign a material to everything. I'm then going to color that in brown. We'll go and have a look up here. Remember, there's this button at the top where we can see what it looks like, and you can see everything is a brown color. I would like this centerpiece to be a different color. So I'm going to select that centerpiece using face, and I'm going to press plus, new, I'm going to assign it, and then I'm going to select a color, and I'm going to pick yellow. Now you'll see that it's only done it to the one side and not the other. Why is that? Well, that's because this side is now one object. It's not doing mirrored anymore. I could select this side here and then select the material that I want, for example yellow, and I could assign it. What that does is assigns the color to both of these now. But I'd like to make a new one, so I'm going to press new, assign, and I'm going to make this blue. So now I have a blue and yellow. I'd like this part here to be silver. Now I could select all the bits like this to do it, or you could put the camera at an angle where you can see everything. Click on the transparent mode again, make sure you're on faces, and just press B for boundary box and aim it around there. That'll select everything. Now I can press plus, new, I'm going to have it as like a light silver. I'm going to apply that by pressing apply, and now I have a silver handle. So you can see very quickly we have made a shield. Now we can bend that shield, but we're not going to do that in this video. If you find the image to be a bit dark as well, you can add a light by pressing Shift A, find a light, and then just put sun, and you can just put that there, and that'll line up. Sometimes, did in this case. Forget that, don't worry about it. But that is essentially how you do it. If you find that you're clicking on the object and you're just having this, the reason is because down the side here you've got that selected. If you select the top one, you can now select the object again. So just in case you're in that you're having this issue where you're selecting things and it's doing this, it's just you need to select that top one, and then you're good to go. So we would then file, export, DAE, and we would bring that in. Have fun, and let's see what you can make, what kind of shields you can make.